Hello, everyone. We're super excited to be here today with Chris Caputo. Chris is the owner of Development Partners, a technology company, as well as an esteemed member of the City of Wilton Manors. He's a city commissioner. So without further ado, Chris, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Well, thank you for having me here, Jill. I could not be more excited when you gave me the opportunity to be here. I'm a huge fan of Broward College and what they do in our community, and I owe a deep debt of gratitude. I would not have experienced the success I've had in my both business world and then in my public service world without Broward College.
Oh, that is great to hear. So tell us about your company now, and then tell us a little about your role as city commissioner.
Sure. So I'm the co-founder, the owner, and my title is Chief Strategist for Development Partners. And that business is one that I absolutely love because I get to work with other local businesses, in helping them to create their niche. Sometimes we work with clients who are, frankly, awesome disruptors in a particular industry, and we help them build software and technology that really allows them to disrupt their industry, like I said. And then other times there's just great joy in working with the clients we work with every day, from credit unions to medical facilities to restaurants, and just helping them, especially in this time as we emerge from COVID, sort of reconnect with customers in new and interesting ways. So that's been a ton of fun. With development partners, we also had the opportunity, of course, to move into the streaming events business, and that's been really great to be able to connect entertainers and organizations to the people that miss them. So that's been wildly rewarding, and almost as rewarding as my other job, which is public servant. I was elected Wilton Manors City Commissioner, and though the stipend is small, the truth is I would pay them for the job because it is so fun to have the opportunity to serve the community that I am so passionate about. I wake up every day grateful for the opportunity I've been given.
Right, and everything I read says you truly are making a difference for the city. So that's really
Thank you.
wonderful to hear. So that's great. So tell us a little bit about where you went to high school and how you landed at Broward College.
So I went to Fort Myers High School, class of '99, and I'm grateful because I feel like I got a great education there. But I think, like some other people I'd met in life, I was truthfully a little lost coming out of high school. And so, the fact about it is I bounced around. I probably went to 10 different colleges, most of which I dropped out of. Nothing against those colleges, but I never felt quite at home. I never felt quite ready for my education. I never felt like the professors cared about me until I landed at Broward College. And so I say I kind of got serious about my education at Broward College. And it became this springboard from which everything else followed. And that's why I say I really owe such a debt of gratitude because, I really was lost until the the professors, the administration, everyone at Broward College sort of said, "We got you here. We're going to work through this together. We're going to help you get on track." And from there, it was just like a rocket launching to everything that came thereafter.
Was there anyone specific? Was it mostly in IT that you were focusing, or was it general
It was
studies?
actually like the general studies. What I think I loved most about the professors that I dealt with at Broward College was their open-minded, like just the way they approached everything. It was, even though there were specialized classes and I loved them, I love their approach. It was more almost philosophical of like, explore the world, right? You don't have to know the answer. You don't have to know your destination. You just have to be open to possibilities. And that's something I really learned at Broward College that I think really is probably why I settled in there and found myself feeling at home.
Great. And then your education went on from there. I think you got a couple more degrees along the way if you want to just share that.
Yeah, so from there I went and I got my bachelor's degree, and then I went on to FAU and got my MBA, and I think the world of FAU as well. I it's funny, I consider myself a bit of a lifelong learner. I'm always looking at Broward College's classes, and always trying to see like what's the next thing I'll take. And truth be told, although I've not shared this with many people, one day nothing would be a bigger honor than to go back and perhaps teach a class at Broward College.
Right. And with your higher level education, you probably will do that. So congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's great to know. So what's the best advice you were given along the way to get to where you are today?
I think it's a combination of two things. One, persistence, and we all hear about persistence. Everyone just says like, just keep at it. And that's true, but I think I was also I'm grateful to have learned it's okay to fail. I think that we see often idolized all of these like heroes, and we hear their success story, but I don't think that we hear enough of just like, hey, they started a business and they failed. For me personally, I'm not ashamed of the fact that, I went through a personal bankruptcy when I was starting my business early on, and I learned a lot of hard lessons, and I got back up and I persisted, and eventually I went on to build multiple companies, which I've built and sold, right? So I think it's both be persistent, but also recognize that, you got to take a lot of shots. Some of them are not going to be successful, and you just have to keep going. It's okay to fail.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. I know some of our Thomas Edisons and Henry Fords and many
Perfect
people.
example. Perfect
Yes,
example.
yes, yes.
Exactly.
Think and Grow Rich. Yes, we know that one. So that's great. Do you have a favorite quote?
Because I think that I'm still somewhat young, though not, that's changing over time. It's one of my favorite quotes is, you've got to be willing to risk everything you've got to get everything you want, and it's just about knowing what your passion is, knowing that you are sure what an outcome is, and then being willing to put everything on the line, and I realize that means something different to everybody. But for me, there are, even as an example, at the start of COVID, businesses around us were shuttering left and right. Tech agencies were shuttering left and right. And I said, hey, I think that there's something we can do here. I think that there's a way that we can connect people who are feeling isolated. And I was convinced, and we worked around the clock building this streaming events business called Stream Ally. And it's been a wild success. And there were many days when things didn't go well because we didn't, we were defining the world as it was happening, right? And so we made a lot of mistakes. And at every chance, I sort of doubled down on, this is the future. This is the future. And I'm grateful that I did. We risked everything, but today we're in a much better spot because we did. And it was, at the end, it was also just following my heart. It was following our heart. We knew we were doing the right thing, and we knew we just had to, again, persist.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, you are very, very wise and definitely have a great business savvy. So who are some of your heroes that you admire?
The truth is, I often find that the heroes that I admire most are just people in our community. There are people that run nonprofits, like so Glenn Weinzimmer, who runs the Smart Ride, Robert Boo from the Pride Center. Glenn's raised uh, almost $15 million, 100% of which has gone back to the community served. Robert Boo and I, we collaborated and we built affordable housing, which I think is one of the biggest issues facing South Florida. We did it together in the face of, with many other people supporting, to be clear, in the face of what was, what we call NIMBYism, not in my backyard, And so I think the heroes for me are the people that we have in our backyard who every day do for others and put others first. And so those are my everyday heroes. Of course, I love, you mentioned, Edison and Ford, and I love Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and all those people on this grand scale. But I'm always amazed at the number of heroes we have right here in our
Right.
backyard.
The ones that can roll up their sleeves and get it done today.
And do the work, right?
That's beautiful, beautiful. So what's something you're super excited about coming up?
I have to say that I think I'm most excited about is just, being commissioner of Wilton Manors. We are making drastic changes to become, more future focused, right? To attract small business owners, to attract new development, to improve the quality of life in our residents. And I think for me, I have learned that making life better for others is like beyond rewarding. I've always I've learned, take care of other people and the universe will take care of you. And so what I'm most excited about is the next 3 years while I've left here in my term of city commissioner, there will be so many opportunities to improve our community. One of them right now is we just got a whole bunch of funding to train small businesses here in Wilton Manors. And like, to me, that's the thing, because you never know. It's like the butterfly effect. You never know how one little change in someone's life or business is going to go on to change the world.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Beautiful, beautiful. So is there any other words of wisdom that you want to share for any other college students that might join us, et cetera?
But clearly my dog has some words of wisdom. I'm sorry for that. All right, go ahead, buddy. I think the words of wisdom I would get is lean on others for help, whether that's a professor, whether that's, a counselor, whether it's, a mentor. I think that I think I was raised in a world where we were taught to be so fiercely independent and rely and ask on no one. And we know that, like, Broward College, is all about helping people. In fact, the alumni of Broward College, like nothing makes me happier when I've had people that, have reached out to me knowing that I've gone to Broward College and saying, hey, I've got a question. Can you help me with this? And I think that we live in a world where people actually want to help one another. And so my advice is, never, you don't have to go at it alone. You do have to follow your passion and you've got to do the work, but you don't have to go it alone. Ask for help when you need help, because there are people and organizations that want to help you.
That's beautifully told. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait for people to contact you. Your LinkedIn will be available for people to message you, and we'll be seeing you. We have the hackathon program that comes up, and I think you're
I
going to be
can't wait to attend. That is like one of the most, literally, that's probably the most inspiring event of the year for me,
right.
seeing the brilliance that comes out of Broward College.
Right. Yes. And your public service, we will definitely be watching both your business career and your community service career. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jill. And thanks for the work you're doing for Broward College. It's
Thank
it's
you.
so great.